Last week, we pretty much talked a lot, a lot about Kent, and for good reason. It is still pretty much in the process of falling apart. And as I do this on Monday, Linda Carmen somehow, who knows how, still is at this point at the time of recording this video. By the time this comes out, who knows, that may have changed. Still the leader at Kent County Council. However, last week, out of nowhere, because as I always keep on telling you, so much stuff from these reform councils keeps on happening because they are literally playing Jenga, and their opening move is literally to, like, first move, take out the bottom brick and just knock the tower over completely. They literally cannot stand still for 5 seconds and not do something either incredibly stupid, absolutely incompetent, or just outright pure insanity, like as we saw recently, spending 75k on flags in Nottingham. But meanwhile, of course, down in Cornwall, where again they almost had power, but because they literally ran a campaign where they were calling every single other councillor corrupt and a waster and whatever, when it came in and they didn't have a majority to be able to take overall control, they went, "Who wants to partner with us?" To which the independents and the Lib Dems said, "Yeah, we ain't partnering with you." Because of what you've been calling us and insulting us for the May elections. So here we are, 6 months in, down in Cornwall, with apparently the infighting so bad. We don't know what they're infighting about, but it's so bad. Last week, you had the deputy leader resign. You had the leader resign 2 days after that. We've now got further confirmation that there are other councillors not just leaving the council, but they're leaving Reform as well. So there's more to come because Reform UK Cornwall down there are just collapsing. And if they were actually in charge, this would be quite bad, because what would happen is if, let's say, one of them was on a committee or the chair of a committee, all of a sudden that committee can't run until there's a replacement. Can't have a replacement until a full council meeting, which you might have to wait for, or you then have to call an extraordinary meeting, which means you have to have quorum to be able to do the vote. So that means you've got to have everyone there. And of course, Cornwall, infamous, very much so, for a lot of their councillors not turning up because, well, they don't live anywhere close to where their constituencies are. So, good job on that one, guys. Meanwhile, of course, the council is just falling apart. Well, at least the reform councillors here on this Cornwall council are just falling apart. And meanwhile, the Lib Dems and the Independents are just getting on with the job. So, Cornwall, you dodged a bullet. You generally dodged a bullet on that one. So we're going to find out more about this because we've had another councillor resign. Surprise, surprise. And hopefully, maybe she might reveal why this infighting is going on. What is it they are infighting about? I want to know, because we keep on hearing it's infighting, but about what? That we don't know. If you are from Cornwall and you do know a bit more about this, please do leave a comment down below in the comments. I would love to know. Meanwhile, of course, thank you very much for everyone for watching as well. Please do remember to click on the like, share, and subscribe button down below. Don't forget to, of course, ring the bell so you get notifications when we go live or we drop a new video. So thank you very much to everyone who does that. Links down below to help support the channel as well. Patreon page, buy me coffee, where you can buy me coffee, YouTube thank you button, and of course, as always, YouTube membership as well. This will also take you straight to the Patreon page as well. So let's crack on then into this. Cornwall Live. Another Reform UK councillor on Cornwall Council leaves the party. Another quitter. Reform UK is now no longer the largest political group on Cornwall Council, less than 6 months after the election. So think about that. They went from being the largest group to no longer the largest group because they're all quitting Reform. Generally unbelievable the rate that this has happened. If nothing had happened in Kent last week, we would have probably ended up dedicating last week to talking about this. But, things happen and get in the way from that. But anyway, so There is now more bad news for Reform UK at Cornwall Council. Another one of their group has now left to become a standalone independent following a move by the former Reform deputy leader, Councillor Roland O'Connor, just earlier this month. Councillor Karen Knight, who was voted in just in the last May elections as the Reform UK councillor of Carbon West and Trimsham, I think that's how you say it, will now, of course, represent the division as a standalone independent. We have contacted to ask why she made this move. Councillor Knight's switch does mean that Reform, which was voted in as the largest political group on Cornwall Council, now has 26 councillors rather than its original 28. So they've just dissolved completely. We have, of course, now been told that as many as 4 more councillors could resign from the party over the next week. So they're on 26. They're going to lose 4 more on that one. That would take them down to like 22. It's a good job they didn't take control, or none of the other parties decided to chuck in with them on this, because this would be a disaster. This might actually cause a complete re-election in Cornwall if that had happened, if they were power sharing. This news, of course, comes after the more shock resignations of Councillor Rob Parsonage as the leader back on October 11th, following criticism from a Reform branch chairman in Cornwall. He said today that he is still, of course, currently a Reform member. There has, of course, been much talks in recent weeks with and without the party about all the infighting, including a very public row amongst Reform members in a Cornish pub last week. Oh, my word. Someone, please find me a recording of that. If that exists somewhere, please let me know. The Reform Cornwall Council group last week, a new leader and a deputy leader, Councillor Paul Ashton and Councillor Roger Tarnett, will now, of course, be hoping to try and unite their members going forward. The recent changes now means that the political makeup of Cornwall Council is Reform with 26, Liberal Democrats on 26. So they basically lost any of their majority there. Independents at 16, Conservatives at 7, Labour at 4, Melbourne Conway, I think that's the Cornish independent thing, 3 seats, Green Party at 3, standalone independents at 2. It's unbelievable that this has gone on. But it's not just this. It's not just Cornwall where this infighting is happening. It's all these councils. It's like, what are you infighting about? Because it seems to be different for everywhere. It's unbelievable. Anyway, the council, of course, currently has a Liberal Democrat independent coalition administrating following 4 years, of course, of Conservative cabinet. So, yeah, there you go. Reform Cornwall falling to pieces over infighting and an argument in a pub. What was that argument in a pub about? If anyone knows anything about that, please do let me know or point me in the direction of anything that's been written about that. I'd be very interested to know more about that. If there's a recording of it, even better. So as always, if you are from Cornwall and you know some stuff about what's going on down there, please do let me know down below in the comments. But of course, as always, don't forget to leave a comment down below, because that helps with all the algorithmical stuff. Of course, do remember to click on the like and share button on your way out. And of course, as always, thank you very much for watching. And of course, as always, we'll see you all next time.